Good afternoon, Mr. Vasim, Mr. Sam, and Miss Jamie. We are Group 2 and we will be presenting on the gig economy and its impact on Google. So Group 2 from the top left consists of Winnie, Tina, Jiarong, Kuna, and me, Pan. So today's content is starting with the overview of gig economy, a position of it, the supply of labor for Google, its financing, and workforce. So gig economy is the foundation of platform economy. It is known as people using apps to sell their labor. The first feature of this economy is that it is a location-based digital labor enabled through the use of GPS tracking on smartphones. Outsourcing of location-based tasks have turned out to be particularly disruptive because they affect a larger percentage of the workforce, and a lot more sensitive personal data are collected by the location-based services, such as the gig workers are tracked via their smartphones. Though mostly transacted online, the work is feasible and impactful. The second feature is that it is highly dependent on the reviews left by the platform clients. As everything is happening online, a questionable amount of risks is involved, and a good review portrays trust in the work done by the gig workers and is highly sought after. Next is the overview of the categorization of gig work. As depicted, there are two types, which are the tasks given to selected individuals and the tasks given to the crowd. The task given to selected individuals is more applicable to Google's workforce. Now I'll pass on my time to Kuna.
Thank you, Pan. I'll now be elaborating on the challenges and opposition which are being faced by the gig economy. Up till today, there has been no legal classification of the relationship between the platforms and the gig workers. As such, the workers do not enjoy the benefits of a regular working class employee. Employers have a difficult time setting fair conditions such as working time and salary, as gig workers essentially work on their own terms and hours, and wages are prorated depending on the hours of service. For example, in the case of Uber, the drivers who are essentially gig workers are not paid a basic wage, but only paid according to the total number of trips they have completed. Labor laws only cover fully contracted or part-time contracted workers, and as such, for labor laws to take effect on gig workers, the boundaries of labor laws should be expanded. In the case of welfare, gig workers do not get health coverage and benefits from their employers. This is because they are not contractually bonded with the service provider, and as such the debate on if service companies should provide basic coverage has been an ongoing one till date. Gig workers in the gig economy have little to no job security, as the service platform may choose to delete their working profiles or sell away the business to competitors, leaving them stranded. Lastly, in the gig economy, work progression is non-existent. This is because the gig workers only provide the service that is required by the platform and have no avenue to showcase potential to be able to take on bigger tasks. With the constant rise of gig economy, the opposition towards it stems from the lack of legal and welfare issues towards the gig employees. I will now pass on to Winnie to speak on the supply chain of the gig economy.
Thank you, Kuna. The gig economy would help Google to maintain two factors for successful supply chain: its scalability and flexibility. According to McKinsey, research stated that workforce agility and labor flexibility are the key to achieving high service levels within a supply chain. By doing this, Google could cover the talent gap by outsourcing jobs and recruiting talent around the world. The strategy could be a secret weapon to raise a team's collective capabilities and create a significant access to its organization. Google can circumvent high costs associated with permanent hires by acquiring gig workers. This will boost the firm's capacity to undertake large-scale projects with limited time frame. Coming to the next slide, I'm introducing the talent portfolio, which is created by Center of Creative Leadership. In order to optimize the supply of labor, it's crucial to figure out the right mix of talent assets for each organization, both internal and external talent. The first set is traditional talent, which is current full-time and part-time workforce in the organization. The second set is gig economy talent, including freelance talent and locally and globally. And the third is technology-driven talent, including robotics and artificial intelligence. Google could make use of this strategy to engage current employees and independent workers and exploring how to integrate human talent with technology-driven talent. By applying this strategy would help organizations to adapt and thrive a new trend of work by reducing vulnerability to shift in the market and maximizing all forms of talent, unlike the traditional models of talent management. Now I'm passing my turn over to Jerome.
Now I'll talk about how the rising trend of gig economy has impacted Google finances. With the use of these short-term workers, it benefits the ledger sheets of Google as well as allowing Google to operate in a cost-efficient way, as Google need not pay for the benefits or the onboarding costs of a full-time employee. In fact, there are times where Google need not provide work equipment for these short-term workers, as they are able to work from home at their own expenses. According to On Contracting, which is a US staffing agency, reveals that large tech companies can save up to $100,000 per year with the use of these short-term contract workers. Google is also able to save on time and resources that goes into training in-house staffs. By outsourcing these gig workers, it can be a way of incorporating new ideas for the company, which in turn leads to profits for Google. While there are benefits of using these short-term workers, there's also key points for Google to take note. Firstly, Google should clearly outline the protocol when it comes to hiring and paying these workers, and this will only become a more crucial matter when they become a greater part of the company's operation. Secondly, the use of these short-term workers can provide flexibility as well as opportunity in finding talented individuals. However, Google has to regularly monitor the use of these workers in order to remain profitable, as these workers can be a liability in the long run. Now I'll pass on my time to Tina.
Thank you, Jiarong. I'll continue with the gig economy impact on Google workforce. Like many technology companies, Google depends on a large number of temps, vendors, and contractors, like the TVCs, to perform a wide variety of jobs, including maintenance workers, recruiters, software testers. Google has various teams across the globe, and it employs a lot of TVCs for their projects. Currently, there are 130 contractors and 10 workers, a shadow workforce that outnumber is 123,000 full-time employees. Google contractors are limited to clock in 40 hours per week, naturally giving them a very good work-life balance, and it's up to them to decide what kind of working arrangement they want. Google Company is a good start for any workers as they can develop their skill for the gig market. Being with one of the top 4 technology in the world, it gives their resume a boost and advantages in finding jobs. However, for the TVC, there are ongoing insecurity and uncertainty over contract renewals, lack of access to learning and development resources and training that only full-time workers have, lack of access, better pay, and benefits like high-quality healthcare, paid vacations, sick days, holiday pay, family leave, and bonuses. For example, there had been a real-life case where there was lack of communication about safety issues. They were left out of communication. It was only sent to full-time employees, warning them of a shooting on the Google-owned YouTube campus, which left the TVC defenseless in the line of fire. Retaining contingent workers typically has not been a priority in the same way it is for full-time staff. For the company, these workers cost less than full-time employees, and Google has no long-term obligation to them, making it easy to hire them or eliminate their position. Hence, job advancement is rare unless the worker started as a full-time employee. You know the contractors wear red badges while the full-time employees wear white. For contractors, there is no involvement in any leadership meeting or offsite due to Google privacy policies. They are not invited to most of the events. Google is not making a long-term investment in their contractors, thus they will be locked out of the real valuable perks if they intend to stay longer on the job. I pass to Kuna to conclude our presentation.
Thank you, Tina. Now, gig economy is partially implemented within today's economics model, and the competition is too hard. It ends up with capitalism brutality of survival of the best. There is no financial security and welfare in this model under free market unless socialism is involved, which will drive the cost too high and it will end up cheaper to hire someone full time. In order to allow gig economy to exist with financial security and comfort without tampering with the essence of free market, so both consumers and suppliers to get maximum benefit out of it, we will need a new alternative economic system other than capitalism, where the gig economy benefits only consumers over freelancers, and socialism that will benefit freelancers over consumers. The gig economy has certainly brought economy and society benefits and costs. Since people seem open to work in the gig economy, this will lead to a growth in the economy in the coming years. Through this presentation, we have explored how we view the gig economy and impact of it on the Google company through their supply chain, financing, and workforce, as well as the insights into what the gig economy is attractive and what isn't. With that, I'll conclude our presentation, and our references will be included in the last slide.